Hello, everyone. Well, I wish I had better news for you, but as they say in this world, no news is good news. No news is good news, and if you ever hear of any good news, it's probably a special piece at the very end of the newscast to try to end on a uplifting note so you won't hate the news quite so much. But truth of the matter is, no news is good news. And they only report negative, bad things on the news. They don't report what's going well or what's good. They only report what's bad. And that's all you ever hear about. All you ever hear about is bad news. Well, what bad things are happening in the world? There's always something bad happening in the world. You're going to find something bad happening in the world no matter what you do or how you try. Today I would like to talk about the Surfside condo collapse, and I'd also like to talk about the assassination of Jovenel Moise. And Jovenel Moise, Moise was the president of Haiti. So the president of a country, president of Haiti, just got assassinated. It's not a small island. It's about 11 million people living there in Haiti. A lot of them have escaped the United States. The United States recently took 100,000 Haitians in after the hurricanes because people there were suffering, and they allowed some people to come, but not all. And so the Haitians, pretty miserable right now, miserable conditions. They make less than $2 a day, most of them. And there's riots, people looting businesses, gangs. They actually have a reason to be rioting and looting businesses because they're starving and dying and they're thirsty. So there's a reason to loot the businesses, so they're looting businesses, and there's gangs that have displaced 14,700 people. Oh, imagine that. Could really use some police presence there. The police can't keep up with all the gang violence. The gangs are growing exponentially. It's like a cancer feeding on the country of Haiti that's just consuming it whole. More and more people are choosing to join the gangs just to survive. It's a way of evil. They've chosen evil in order to survive. And by choosing evil in order to survive, they feed predatorily upon others, and loot and ransack their homes. That's what the gangs mostly do there, is they loot and ransack homes. And they're just thieves. That's all they are, is thieves, common thieves. They just take whatever they feel like. That's what the gangs do. And ensuring survival for the gang members and nobody else. That's because so few resources. They're even running out of gas. And it's a terrible situation. There's no food, no water, no gas. So the president was assassinated there because people were discontent with his rule. And he hadn't held elections in 2019, and they were really mad that he didn't hold elections. He was trying to hold on to power as long as he could. And who knows? Who knows what's going on over there? Somebody had it in for the president. That much is certain. And I wouldn't even trust the people closest to him. They might have been responsible too. People he worked with on a daily basis could have been responsible. Because they all want power. They're all power hungry and ready for more and more power. that's the way it is in a country where people are powerless. People crave power. And then when they crave power, they do bad things. They do bad things to get power and to stay in power. And they neglect the people. And it just regenerates itself over and over, the cycle of misery. So that's Haiti. Nobody wants to take a vacation there, even though it's a Caribbean country, because it's so bad there. So bad. And people are miserable. There's no tourism. It's an authoritarian country. They keep kicking their presidents out of office. They have this habit of kicking their presidents out of office and then rioting and protesting in the streets. There were like 11 million people protesting, so that was the entire nation, protesting their president that they had elected. And none of them turned out for the election. Naturally, they protest later after they didn't turn out for the election. Only 21% of the population turned out for the election, and then they're unhappy with what they got because they didn't turn out for the election. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. So, that's the story of Moise. He was assassinated in cold blood by mercenaries, supposedly, according to Joseph, who's the prime minister there. And he's the interim prime minister, but he's declaring that his successor, Henry, never took the duties or responsibilities of office, and that he's been the main prime minister. So now there's prime ministers quarreling over whether Henry says that isn't true. So now there's prime ministers quarreling over the position of prime minister. And who knows who's going to declare themselves the big cheese, the leader, after Moise is gone. But who's going to be the big cheese now that Moise is dead? Probably Joseph, right? So, very suspicious circumstances. Very suspicious. We don't know who to trust. I wouldn't know who to trust anyway from a nation with that sort of character to it. People have created their own misery there by creating instability. You don't believe in the democratic process and you don't vote. This is what happens in a country like that, where you don't vote. When you don't vote, there's consequences. And the consequence of not voting is that you get a dictator that you don't like. That's what happens when you don't vote. So only a few people were pleased with Moise. Moise tried to cement his own power and wound up dying in office. This is the first president over a century, but it may be a precedent. They may decide, oh, that worked pretty well. He died quickly and easily. Why don't we do that with all our presidents? Could happen. So, now on to Surfside. Surfside condo collapse, very sad. There were pets trapped in all of the condominiums. Pets belonging to the people who lived there. They begged and begged the judge, please let us go get our pets. Please let us go get our pets. The judge denied their request to go get their pets. He denied it. And then he ordered the building to be demolished. And all the pets died in the building collapse. All the pets died in the demolished building. It was very sad. And they did that because of the rescuers and also the people who might still be alive. There's nobody left alive. They're not going to find anyone alive underneath all that rubble. No way. They're all dead. They're all dead. But they keep trying. They keep trying even though there's no one left alive. They keep trying. They keep sending more and more rescuers out and work around the clock. And to protect the rescuers, and also supposedly to protect the people who are supposedly still alive underneath the rubble, which is very unlikely. They killed all those pets, too. The judge was a real nice guy, wasn't he? Killing all those pets. But he thought, well, the building could collapse with everyone in it anyway, going to get their pets. Building could collapse anyway. It's an unsafe building. Nobody should be inside it. So I'm just going to demolish it. And they did. All those pets died, including a beautiful cat. Moment of silence for the kitten. Poor kitty cat. Didn't even have a chance. The judge didn't give the kitty cat a chance to live. But he didn't want people to get killed in a building collapse. He didn't want them to get killed in it. See, part of the building collapsed, and then there was part remaining, and that's what they demolished with all the pets inside. It was a terrible thing. It was so sad, and I don't know what to tell you. I love pets. I love animals. And that judge was obviously an animal hater. Or at least he claims to love humans more than he loves animals, but pets are important to people. They're very vitally important to people's lives. He's a pet killer. A pet killer. A judge. And also, was a woman that made it out alive. It was a miracle. She woke up before dawn. She couldn't sleep. She was walking around looking for something. She saw this crack spread from her ceiling all the way down to her floor, all along the wall. Her wall, from the ceiling to the floor, a wall crack was forming really big, and she knew that she had to get out that instant, or she was going to perish. So she threw on her clothes, grabbed her purse, ran out the door, ran down the hall. She didn't know there were emergency stairs near her, so she went to the end of the hallway, and that saved her life. Because she didn't know about the emergency stairs. That was the section that collapsed right away. So she had a few extra seconds to get down those stairs. She just flew down the stairs, even though she was middle-aged. She got out as fast as she could, and it was just within seconds that the whole building collapsed. She made it out with seconds to spare. Another story from the building collapse. There was this man, and he just wanted to go home, right, for the evening. He lived at Surfside's condominium complex. But then his wife, not his wife, I'm sorry. It wasn't his wife, it was his girlfriend. His girlfriend, she went to spend a little quality time with him. So this girlfriend that wanted to spend a little quality time with him invited him over to her place to spend some quality time. So he very reluctantly agreed. He was tired, but he went to his girlfriend's and spent the night. Then the early morning hours, the building collapsed. He was still alive because he was with his girlfriend. So those are a couple of stories, but everybody else, they didn't make it out. They didn't make it out alive. Those people didn't deserve to die. Now the mayor is on TV. The mayor of Surfside is on TV bragging about all the rescue efforts and saying that the building had collapsed for no good reason. This is the mayor of Surfside we're speaking now. The building collapsed for no good reason. Give me a break. Of course the building collapsed for a good reason. You didn't take care of it. You didn't take care of the building. You didn't take care of the building. The building wasn't cared for properly. The foundations were cracking. There was climate change, supposedly. They love to blame climate change for everything. But it's water levels rising. Made the ground shift and made the 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 foundation unstable. And also, there's construction they decided to build a new building right next to this old building. And the vibrations in the earth from all the construction weakened and fractured the foundation. They were about to condemn the building anyway. In fact, the inspector was on the roof the day before the collapse. In fact, just 14 hours before the building collapsed, the inspector was on the roof examining the building. So, the mayor is wrong. The building did not collapse for no good reason. There were excellent reasons why the building collapsed. There weren't good reasons, but they were reasons. So it wasn't true that there was no reason for the building collapse. There were very, very salient, very pertinent reasons why that building collapsed. And none of the people who were in the collapse deserved to die. It was the mayor and the city council. It was just pure greed. It was just pure greed on their parts. It was greed and desire to make more and more and more money. This is pertinent to me because they want to build a new building right next door to my building where I live. They want to make new construction as soon as possible. And it's major construction. Major. It's going to be a big building going up next door. And I'm afraid that my building could collapse too. Collapse right on top of me with me in it. I'm thinking of moving. I am. I'm sincerely, seriously thinking of moving. Because they want to build new construction right next door to me. And it's the mayor, the new mayor, and the city council. It's just pure greed. It's just greed. And when people get greedy, they do evil things. When they're greedy, they do evil things. They do great evil for the sake of greed. Greed makes people do evil things. And government is also bureaucracy. There's bureaucracy. There's red tape. There's bullies. Government is a bully. That's just a bully by nature because they're governors, right? The people are under them. And they're on top, controlling the people like puppets on a string. When they can control people, when people are underlings and underneath them, and they're controlling them like puppets on a string and controlling their lives, they become bullies. And that's what the welfare state is like. People who administer welfare are bullies. And do you know who they bully? They bully welfare recipients. Yes, they do. Think being on welfare is such a great thing. It's not all it's cracked up to be. It really isn't. They bully and bully and bully. They're cutting my food stamps by 56%. Cutting my food stamps by 56% because I sent them a fax. And they hadn't gotten the fax yet. And they jumped the gun and cut my food stamps right then and there. Before they even got the fax. I called them about it. I called them about it on the phone. And I sent them the fax in time, during the time frame they said. They still sent the letter. They sent me the letter the day before telling me they were cutting my food stamps. But I didn't get it till now. I got it today. Government they're bullies. And they bully the welfare recipients they're supposed to serve. They threaten them constantly. They send them threatening letters saying they're going to cut off their food stamps and cut off their welfare. They do it constantly, and they make you drag your belly at yourself on your belly through the mud for their sakes, and kiss butt. They make you kiss butt, and they make you ingratiate yourself to them just to get welfare. And then, once you've ingratiated yourself to them, they just treat you just like dirt, and they threaten you constantly. They've threatened. There hasn't been a single year, not a single year, in the past 20 plus years that I haven't gotten a letter saying, we're going to cut off your food stamps. We're going to cut off your benefits. We're cutting your benefits, cutting your food stamps. You're done. You're done. No more food stamps, no more benefits. Hasn't been a single year. Can hardly wait to get off of welfare. Never look back, because they treated me so badly. I would never want to be treated that way ever again. But I just was. I just was. Hopefully for the last time. But I just was mistreated by them again. I've had it with them. I've completely had it. I'm going to pray to Goddess about it. Because that's all I can do is pray to Goddess. Pray to Goddess, hope for something better in the future for myself and my family. So that's it. Lots of evil in this world. Lots of bad people. Like I said, this is a vale of tears. And it's a place for people who are fallen spirits. When people get ugly, people get mean, people get angry, people get greedy. They do awful, awful things. They do awful things for the sake of power, selfishness, and greed. And it shows. It shows through our whole world. So don't be like that. Don't be like that. Try to work on yourself. Be a better person. Raise yourself up to a higher standard and a higher level than the others. That's all Goddess really wants, is for us to be better people, despite all of the chaos, confusion, and cruelty that surrounds us. She just wants us to be better. That's all.